So, Dr. Gao, let's go straight to you. Is the US under so much pressure from China that now they're taking a play directly out of China's playbook and operating on the world stage the way China has been?
Well, first of all, doing business is fine, but doing business by holding a gun at your head is not acceptable. Not to China, probably not to everyone else. Different countries may have different views about what the United States is doing, and wants to tailor-make its response accordingly. That's fine. But for China, you cannot hold a gun to China's head and issue ultimatum and demand all the impossibilities, for example, and ask China to swallow that. China is the country that values dignity and decency and honor more than economic gains or economic losses. So if you want to hold a gun at China's head, China will hold a gun at your head. If you want to strike China in the cheek, China will strike you back. That's the decision, the determination of the Chinese nation. This is not belligerency. This is the minimum decency you need to apply to international relations. How can you demand other countries? I will slap you in the face. Don't slap me back. Otherwise, I will punish you more. That's the law of the jungle.
But does China really have the power to be that sort of bold against the US? They have a much bigger defense budget.
Let me assure you one thing. I studied arms control and deterrence at Yale graduate school, political science department. By today, China and the United States can both destroy each other and cause Armageddon for mankind. China wants to pursue peace. The United States is advocating for war, tariff war, trade war, technology war, talent war, and possibly a perverse version of the proxy war, or cold war, or hot war. China wants to promote peace of all kinds. Now, for your benefit, China is the largest trading partner with more than 140 countries in the world. Can you believe it? We've dealt with countries of all kinds, different sizes, different conditions, and we treat them equal, big or small. And China wants to pursue peace. China wants to be the standard barrier of free trade. Now that the United States abandons free trade and uses bullying and intimidation to force other countries to follow its line of thinking. No, this is not what China wants to do, and China will not accept that.
Elliot?
This is the moment of truth. Who is the standard barrier of free trade?
The US still has a bigger military budget. Is China looking at innovation, at artificial intelligence as a way it can counter perhaps what it doesn't have in tanks and missiles?
We're talking about the military budget. The US military budget is larger than the next 10 countries' military budget combined together. So the United States has a lot of military budget, a lot of equipment, etc. That's for sure. Now, the point I want to make is that if you can destroy the world 1,000 times versus, for example, if you can have the world destroyed 10 times, there is not a lot of difference. Now, in the world of nuclear age, mutually assured destruction is the rule of the game. Between China and the United States, they have already reached mutually assured destruction if any country wants to use war as an instrument to achieve its geopolitical goals. Both China and the United States can destroy each other multiple times, regardless of whether the United States has a larger budget or otherwise. Therefore, from the Chinese view, the world in the future, according to my personal dream, for example, should be a world of peace, a world every country will be treated equal. Every country respects each other, and no country will be allowed to dominate against any other country. MAGA, or Make America Great Again, is fine, but you cannot achieve that at the expense of other countries. You cannot achieve your greatness by belittling, by delegating or relegating other countries to the lowest echelon of the hierarchy. Every country has its ambition. Every country wants to be in the first front, first row, for example, and no country should be allowed to trample rules of free trade, to trample international order, and to dictate to others, to issue ultimatum, to hold a gun at your head, to demand submission to my will. This is the law of the jungle, and China will never have a part of that, and China will fight to death to oppose that.